Manisha Armugam, here to discuss the Hindu newspaper for the day. Am I audible to everyone? Okay, you will get this PDF in the description box, as well as you can join our Telegram channel by scanning this QR code for taking the regular updates. Okay? So we will be seeing the news articles for the 20th February. So here mostly of today is everything about the articles only, okay, which is given in the editorial. Other than that, thank you Silent Prep. Okay, so the thing is like today's newspaper is very minimal, so quickly we will see the topics. First one is about the editorial privacy and transparency. So we all know this editorial is basically on the topic where the DPDP Act of 2023, okay, so that have been amended the RTI Act, right, of the section 1J, okay, that is being the controversial right now. Good evening Avia, good evening Ekta, okay. So this is very important for in that case, okay, we are going to just understand what is the actual problem, okay, what is the actual thing that has been amended by DPDP Act, okay. So because of that, what is the major concern that will that is actually affecting, okay. So that is the first thing. So it is important for us as our article 19 and article 21 is here, okay. So based on that, it is important for us in the GS2 paper, okay. Here we might expect a mains question also in the case of the digital privacy, and also the state is being driven by the most of a digital era, and also the privacy of the individual's information, okay. Based on that, we might be having the question related with accountability of the state or the government, okay. And in prelims also we might expect the question where the amendment have been actually altered the things, okay. When it comes to the next article, it is about the Iran's nuclear program, okay. So initially it was like we will be seeing in detail, okay. Before that, I am just giving you insight. Iran was claiming that it is only for the civilian purpose we are programming all these nuclear things, but now, okay, the US and Israel is suspecting that it is secretly, the Iran is secretly developing its nuclear weapons. So based on that, there is a article we will see about it, okay. So in this case, it is very important for us in certain stages, like in the IR part, okay. Iran is a very good oil supplier of India, so we have the energy security, oil security in that case, okay. And also when it comes to the diplomacy or the geopolitical stability, there plays a huge role Iran. And one more thing, Iran is a good mediator or maybe a good balancing power for India in when it comes to Afghanistan and certain areas also, okay. So the Chabahar port that we paid for the development in the Iran. So all these things, because not only for the transactional diplomacy between like India and Iran for oil and the development, it is more than that, okay. So based on that case, we are going to see it in the perspective of GS2 and also GS3. When there is a instability in this area, this will be directly affecting our energy security also, okay. We will be strategically losing a partner also. So in that case, we are going to see GS3 aspect also, okay, how it will be impacting in our economy, okay. Then the third one is important for the Nilgiri Tar. See, it is not a specific article or something. There was a simpler image only. We are going to see like what this species came into the newspaper, okay, which is actually endangered right now. So we will be seeing certain small insights about it, okay. Then comes the freebies, okay. So elections are coming, many states will be giving the freebies, okay. So the controversy in the things, what the state is arguing about it, okay, and what is the actual thing that have to be done, is it is only a election time stunt or anything else, okay. So that we will be talking about this, because Supreme Court have also intervened in this case, okay. So the Nilgiri Tar will be important for us in the GS3 paper, okay. We may have a question like in the prelims oriented, we will be having the species related question, okay. Maybe the what is the reason for their state, okay, their count, why it is falling down, all these things based on that prelims pattern we will be having. And apart from that, we may get question based upon the grasslands, okay. So the grasslands related questions in the environment part, we can ask, we can expect a question in the mains as well. Then the freebies will be important for us in the GS2 paper, as the states are claiming that these freebies are mostly of a welfare program for the people, okay. And apart from that, it is a problem when the state is actually facing a fiscal risk also. So in that case, it is important for us to see the economical terms, which is GS3, not actually to the state oriented, but instead we are going to see how the state fiscal imbalances will be hitting on Indian economy also. In this particular way, it is important. We will be the topics directly. Let's move on to the first article, privacy transparency. Okay. So it is basically about privacy and transparency. So you might wondering why article 19 has been mentioned in the initial stage when we are talking about this topic, okay. So it is actually, if you see, it is between article 19 versus article 21, where article 19, the freedom of expression and everything, has the right to know also. So there is a subclause for it, okay. So which mentions the people have right to know also, okay. But when it comes to article 21, there is right to privacy as well, right. So the balance between these two have been taken into the consideration. So this article is completely about, we are going to understand the issue based on this article, okay. And the second thing, we are not going to straight away reflect this articles language in our paper. Instead, we are just going to see what is the overall thing and what have been changed, okay, and how it actually affects, what is the concern of the author that triggers him to write this article, okay. Let's get into the details. One is DPDP Act 2023 weakens the Right to Information Act of 2005. So when we see the RTI Act of 2005, it have been introduced, okay, so that if there is any public or larger public has been interested in taking any personal information of a particular personality, okay, it is state or the government's responsibility to provide all those informations regarding them, so that it will be giving a larger public interest will be delivered, okay. So based on this, earlier it was RTI allowed citizens to access information from government. So government is liable to provide those informations which has been asked from the RTI, okay. But now it is that the DPDP Act have given a wider notations, okay. So it is kind of there should be no the privacy should not be intruded, okay. So here the DPDP Act removes public interest override. So here, what is public interest override? So when the larger public interest is about knowing about some asset or any other personal information of a individual, okay, individual or entity or a company or even the public sectors, okay. So this kind of a thing, when it comes to the larger public interest, at that time the larger public interest should be delivered rather than looking into the privacy of somebody, okay. That is public interest override. Public interest will be overriding the privacy of an individual, okay. So DPDP have removed it, and it says that no disclosure of personal information. Till this it is okay, okay. The personal information have to be kept in confidential manner. But here what is the major issue? If you see, it is about the audits also, even the public audit, or also the financial terms is also cannot be disclosed by any government official. So it is like one way communication. Government takes the data from every citizens and they will not be providing it back. Okay, when it comes to the privacy, it have been told that personal information, there is no clear information about what will be disclosed and what will not be disclosed. Okay, so they have given a wider connotation, that is the private, the personal information will not be disclosed. So that overall thing has been a debate here. Clear till now? Okay. So here the Supreme Court intervention here is about, Supreme Court referred to the Constitution bench. Okay. So they have referred this incident to the Constitution bench, bench stating that this is a constitutional sensitivity, which we have talked about the Article 19, okay, and 20, so 21. So this is the major issue here. Okay. So the RTI actually started with, after the civil society movement it have been started. It is aims to promote the transparency, where the corruption will be reduced. When there is a transparency in the public offices or any other the transactions and everything, okay, the public holds also. So when there is a transparency, there will be less corruption, right? So if a officer is earning 70,000 per month, okay, and his assets and holdings or wealth will be more than like 20-30 lakhs or more than a crore. So at that time we would be able to see, like, see, through this RTA we would be able to derive the wealth count of a individual, okay, and also their certain the basic pay of the individual also. So based on that we would be able to find whether the asset and everything is a genuine one, or is it recently occurred due to the corruption methods. Okay. So based upon that, to reduce the corruption and also to empower the citizens to know, here the role of right to know comes. Right to know. So the empower, the aware, the informed citizens will be impulsing here. Okay. So is it clear till now? Then, so what is the change? What is the DPDP Act and what is the change that have been brought in? Earlier, section 8 of RTI, okay, subclause 1, subclause J is saying that personal information could be denied. See, we can share the personal information, but there is also restrictions based on that earlier also, okay. When it comes to no relation to public activity, okay, if it is not going to give a huge response to a public welfare or public interest, okay, just because one person wants to know about somebody's personal information, it will not be provided. It is very clear there, okay. And the second thing is, it will be denied to disclose when the disclosure would invade privacy. So this concern have been installed since earlier, okay. So if there is any invasion of the privacy, it will be denied. But when it comes to public larger public interest, it will be disclosed. The personal information of a person will be disclosed when it comes to the public, the larger public interest. Okay, till now is it clear? Okay, so when we talk about the DPDP, okay, so here the Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023 actually saying that there is a right to privacy. We cannot just like that, we cannot give the personal information of somebody, okay. There should be some privacy have to be restored. The second thing is, state is being data driven. The problem here now, the digital era, the data that we are like keep on giving the circular economy, okay. So either we will be using somebody else's data or we are giving on our data, okay. So all these things are like the complete India, the complete subcontinent is about sharing the data. It is completely data driven, okay. So data is something, it's not about a something information, okay. Now it is like kind of we are earning income also from that, right? So here it is very important for us to have a privacy and also a regulation for all this data processing, collecting, processing and the storage also. Okay? Then government need data protection. So it is about government's responsibility. See, they have to collect the data, they have to process, they have to store it. At the same time, it is government's responsibility to protect the data. It cannot be leaked anywhere where it is unnecessary, where it is not legible and where it is not needed. Okay? Then, so what the DPDP Act actually regulates? The collection of data, okay, how and when, why all the data has been collected. So that will be the collection, the methods for collecting and processing, storing them, all these comes under the DPDP Act. Okay? So the changes, when it comes to the changes, here we could see section 44 subclause 3 of DPDP Act, which amends the RTI, okay, says that personal information cannot be disclosed. So earlier in RTI also what we have saw that the personal information cannot be disclosed under two concerns, right? When there is no public activities involved, and another thing is like when there is a invasion of privacy. So based on those two things we will not be disclosing. But there is one exemptions, that is when there is larger public interest is there, at that time the government will be responsible to give the personal information. Okay? But here it have vaguely told that personal information cannot be disclosed. Here the term personal information does not have any clear definition, like this will be a personal information and this can be disclosed to people even in the larger public interest. This cannot be given in the larger forum. So all these things are not be defined yet. So that is a major issue here. Okay? So the public interest override have been removed. What we have talked about, the when there is a huge demand for from the public also, then also the personal information will not be disclosed, right? So this article is talking about certain issues, okay, because of the DPDP Act we are having certain transparency issues and also the issues with the public awareness, like the for knowing certain things. It is safeguarding the government officials at a point of time. Okay, it is kind of a one-way communication. Government takes data and they are earning money from those data, but the benefits are not going back to those people. That is one thing. And second thing is like if I want to know about somebody, okay, are they legibly doing their work or they are taking corruption or something, okay, so I am not being educated, I am not being informed about it, okay. So here the information has been missed out. So when it comes to the intervention of Supreme Court, so they have referred to the Constitution bench, okay, stating that there is Article 19 and Article 21 nexus, okay. So we have to keep a balance mechanism here, where the right to know and the right to privacy have to be equally balanced. Okay. Then what are all those issues that have been raised here? First is the information sequence. The article it have been said that there is a asymmetric information have been provided, that is the data will be collected by the government, they will be storing it, they will be getting money from it, okay. But when the public is being asked for those informations, it is not providing it, stating that there is a confidentiality and also the right to privacy is there, quoting that the public are not getting back the data that they actually wanted, the information they actually wanted. Okay, so it is kind of one-way transparency. So the data from the citizens are going to government, but government is not giving back those data or the informations to when it is needed. Okay. So it is stated that one-way transparency. See, all these things are just to understand the concern, okay, what is DPDP Act and what is RTI and what have been changed in the recent times, and because of that what has been affecting the smooth conduction of the government. Okay. rather than we should not be indulging in most of the author's language. Okay, keep that in mind always whenever you are studying. These are the things you have to focus and certain things you have to eliminate. Okay, moving on. So the second one is about the accountability. So when there is a denial of information, that could include there is official asset, okay, and also the procurement records, audit findings, public expenditure details. So this is kind of okay, procurement records. This sometimes we have to see there if there is any favoritism or not. Even in state government services, people are asking for the money after after even getting selected in the exams and everything, after clearing the exams also. So at that time it is important for us to know like whether a eligible candidate, okay, who have cleared the exam, still they didn't get the order in their hand because of which reason, okay. So based on that we have to see and what whomsoever have been selected for those posts, okay. And when it comes to audit findings and public expenditure, very much needed, because see, public expenditure is basically what the money that actually the people, the common people, the citizens pay as a tax, right? So it is important for us to know where it have been being spended, where it have been used for the expenditure, right? So when these details are not been given, audit findings, this public expenditure, that is a huge concern, where it is like we pay money and we will not be getting where it has been actually used, okay. So it is kind of something not there is no accountability to those money. The government is nowhere accountable to any people, like however they want they can use those money, okay, consolidated fund or any other the tax revenues that has been given, okay. So all these things basically on however they are giving the money. I'm not liable to tell anybody, I'm not responsible to answer anybody, okay? That is a major thing. Then the it affects in the anti-corruption mechanisms and also the public scrutiny. People cannot question the government here when it comes to the expenditure nature of the government. So basic rights of asking questions by the civilians here are challenged. Okay, moving on. The next thing is about journalism. So the journalist, the collective journalist will be acting as a data fiduciaries. Data fiduciary is nothing but, okay, so they will be saying that how, why and what kind of data will be given, okay, what kind of a, actually the problem here is there will be restrictions for them to procure those documents if they are taking any interviews, if they are giving any if they are taking any other informations from an individual, okay. At that time there have to be a self censorship, so they have to ask particular questions only. They cannot take all the questions, okay. There has to be a filtration of those questions which actually questions the freedom of press, okay. So the freedom of press have been questioned here and they have given the limitations. There is a lot of limitations for them to filter out the questions which will not be intruding their privacy, okay. So and the non-compliance fine is about 250 crores, okay. Then the article also says that there is a comparison between Indian model, okay, and also European Union's GDPR, okay. So here they process same kind of a thing, okay. There is a lot of huge data, okay. How do they process it? Actually they protect the privacy also, and the exemption here allows exemptions for journalism. So they have the freedom of press in the EU, which has been curtailed, which has been having a restrictions on Indian journalism, okay. And the privacy and public interest has been balanced. What we saw in our case, what we saw in the Indian case, it is like when it comes to the privacy, the personal information cannot be provided, right? But here there will be a balance, okay. So the privacy also will be, see, the privacy is about the clear definition, okay. So what can be disclosed and what cannot be disclosed on the grounds of questions. Okay, so that privacy has been clearly defined here. When it comes to public interest, to what extent the public interest can be taken into the consideration for those disclose of the personal information. And major thing is here about when it comes to the public interest, it's not like 10-15 members join together and without any public activity they cannot question it. There will be scrutiny behind this public interest also. So to check its genuinity, to check its real outcome, what is the what will be the actual solution, like what is the actual thing behind this. Okay, all this scrutiny will be done. So this model we have to learn from EU. Okay, so certain things they also have digital datas and datas. Okay, so this is how they manage it with the informed citizens, also securing the privacy of their citizens. Okay, is it clear till now? If there is any doubt, please let me know, otherwise we will be moving to the next topic. Okay, so just have a glance about this article and other things that have been quoted. Then comes our next article about Tehran Treaty, the global geopolitical spotlight. It is nothing but Iran is again in the picture of geopolitics, the center of the geopolitics. Okay, Iran have become again central to global geopolitics. How? By the nuclear program. Okay, so the US and Israel, okay, they were suspecting that Iran is actually developing the nuclear weapons. Okay, so US have right now bombed their nuclear facilities, right? So there is one more statement also that Iran is saying that if US continues to bomb us or threat us, we will be ready to retaliate it. So the problem here is, see, when there is a war, it is not between only two countries. Okay, the resources, the people, the neighboring countries around them, okay, the allies, the supporters, okay, the countries which involves in the import and export of third countries, which is related with those countries who have involved in the war. All these things will be actually affecting. Okay, so if we see in the case of Iran, it is a landlocked country. Okay, like not completely landlocked, there is a open space for the ocean also, right? So but when it comes to the major of the area has been covered landly, right? And also there is certain areas, there is very has a very strategic position where it affects if there is any instability in Iran, it will be definitely affecting other countries, okay, which is surrounded it. Okay, so that is a major thing, because US is such a power uh, with which the Iran is actually combating, right? So if there is any unrest or instability, this may target the Iran supporting countries, okay, which is happened for us also, just because we are developing the Chabahar port and getting oils, we had a heavy sanctions from US, right? So like the same wise, Iran can also target certain areas, okay, which is pro US. So there will be a the fragmentation of power will be there. There will be instability. The countries around them, the countries depending upon their security, like the oil or energy security, they will be also affected. Their fiscal balance also will go down. So all these are like interconnected things where the external disturbances will be impacting the internal progress and the internal development as well. Okay, clear? So we will see about it. This is the overall perspective of this article. Okay, so the Iran's nuclear facilities have been bombed by US, right? And now from military actions, from military activities, US have gone back to the negotiations. So the Oman will be mediator, okay, here, and there will be a negotiation based upon this nuclear deal. Okay, and in 2015 the JCPOA have been in 2018 US have been withdrawn from JCPOA. We will be seeing what it is, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And this agreement is to the dialogue for promoting or developing the nuclear power only for the civilian purpose, not for us and nuclear weapons. Okay. So the Gulf interest is about not having the war here. Okay. So these are the major things that have been discussed in this article. And the retaliate if attacked. So what we have talked, Iran is ready to retaliate if it has been attacked by any end. So if we see what is the importance of Iran and US stability, see that US-Iran rivalry will be affecting the geopolitical system in the globe. Okay, there will be a again a block or a power, the power politics will be there. Okay, that is the first thing. Second thing is Israel's security concern. Okay, and the third one is Gulf stability. So if there is instability in the Gulf, it will be affecting the Gulf state also and other countries who are depending upon the Gulf state. Okay. Then the global market of oil, the price will be hiking. Okay. The oil will be, there will be a lot of oil shocks. Okay, and the price will be at this core, right? So these are things which may affect any fiscal policies internally of any country, right? So the major of the portions that have been given to this oil security, eventually what it will be happening, eventually that country like India, if it is if India is importing lot of oil from Iran, and if there is any instability in Iran, the price of the oil will be going high, I'll be losing my India will be losing its currency. Okay, so the fiscal policy will be having instability too. So that is what we are talking. Okay, then comes nuclear non-proliferation. Okay, so these are the concerns and these are the importance of this incidents. Okay, so moving on, we will be talking in detail about this article, whatever have been discussed this article. Okay, so Iran's nuclear program, very controversial. Iran claims that it is for civilian purpose, but Israel and US is suspecting that it is for the nuclear weapon development. So this is what the whole concern is about. Okay, then the existential threat. So they have actually bombed the Iran's nuclear facilities. Now there is the retaliation can also be expected, right? Okay. Now coming back to joint comprehensive plan of action. So earlier it is like Iran. Okay, this is the signatory between Iran and also the permanent 5+1 of the UN. Okay, so the UNSA. Okay. So US, UK, France, Russia, China, and Germany. So these 5 are the color here. Okay. So these 5 are the permanent members, and one is Germany lately been added. Okay, and between them and Iran, it have been signed that the nuclear program will be of the civilian purpose and it will not be for the nuclear weapons. Okay, but what are all the things that have been stated? Limited Iran's uranium enrichment. Okay, so whatever the uranium enrichment that is needed for civilian purposes, very less. When it comes to the nuclear weapon, it is huge. Okay, so by limiting it, it is ensuring that the uranium that has been used, okay, that will be for the civilian purpose only. Okay, then allowed international inspections, which is like whenever the US or any other international Security Council, United Nations Security Council, whenever they are having a suspect, okay, they can come and inspect those nuclear facilities. Okay, then in return, what they will be having in return, they will be taking off the economic sanctions which all those international forum or any other country have been imposed of, like US, how US is imposing lot of tariffs on Iran. So by agreeing to it, in return they will be taking off the economic sanctions, and apart from that, to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons. So that is the aim of this JCPOA. Okay? Till now clear? So now we will be moving to the other things, which is earlier it was JCPOA 2015. Okay, even Iran have accepted, even the P5 countries and Germany have also accepted it. What changed later on is something very crucial. When Mr. Trump came into the power in 2018, he withdrew US from JCPOA and eventually he started imposing heavy sanctions on Iran. Okay, so this is a major thing that have been happened, and that was the thing which actually triggered a lot. Okay, so US withdrew from JCPOA and reimposed heavy sanctions. Okay, it is not smaller amount of sanctions; it is really heavy sanctions. Even US forced India to cut down the oil imports from Iran, and also there was a so much controversial topics about the Chabahar port also. So we will be seeing one by one. Okay, then Iran restrained, okay, parts of its nuclear program. They have to combat this. What they have did, Iran again started their nuclear program. Okay, so this is the major issue that we see about, and US bombed Iranian nuclear and its air defense sites, right? US have bombed it. Okay, then the negotiations were going on right now. From military actions to diplomacy they have came. So Oman will be mediating. Okay, so they will be taking the talks very politely, and they will be having the balancing power. Okay, and this shows how military pressure is important. Equally important it is the diplomacy. Okay, diplomacy is also very important here. Okay, so this article also talks about, okay, so if you see this area, which is what is the actual problem, okay, then what is the background, like how JCPOA have been evolved and how it have been changed the Trump years. Okay, post that it have been changed, it have been discussed that how the Gulf states are being what the Gulf state is being expecting from this two people, US and Iran. Okay, so this have been here, and also what the next will be the what India's stake will be in this issue. So now we are moving on to the Gulf states, what they are actually longing for. Okay, so the actual interest of the Gulf countries will be stability. Okay, the regional stability, the geopolitical stability. There should be no power politics in there. Okay, and also they expect stability in the oil trade. There should be a feasible amount of oil trade should be there. There should be no disruptions in those oil trade. And Iran's retaliation is not appreciable here. Okay, even they don't want the war. They don't want the war at all. They want only the peace have to be settled down. Okay. Then US supporters may targeted. So there one of the major fear is, the Gulf countries major fear is like US supported areas will be getting targeted by Iran. So this is the major concern of Gulf countries. Now we will come to the India's stake. Okay. So when it comes to India's stake, the major thing is oil security. Now we have brought the different baskets for our oil imports, right? We take Russian oil, we take Iranian oil, right? So we have different baskets for our oil security. But once Iran was the greatest, like second largest importer of India, okay? Oil supplier of India, and at that time India also very much appreciating the GCPOA. Okay, even they appreciated the resumed oil trade. When there is any they promise that there will be a feasible oil trade any time. Okay, there won't be any disruption. So these are the things that the oil security actually deployed in. Okay, so when we see the oil security, if there is any instability in this, we would be able to see hiked oil prices. Okay, even though we have bifurcated our oil security countries, still we have the if there is any high price in oil. Okay, now we are focusing upon the capital expenditure, which actually eventually helping us to develop by those growth by development regarding the infrastructure and everything, right? But when there is a huge amount has been spent, okay, this is not the only case I am talking about. When it comes to the Russian oil, when it comes to the Iranian oil, or when it comes to any other external disturbances, it will be eventually attacking on our internal fiscal policy. Okay, if there is a lot of money is outflowing, okay, if there is any huge amount of Indian currency is outflowing, or the dollars that we possess that has been outflowing for imports, okay, at that time it will shake, it will give a shock in our current account things, okay. So the current account deficit will be expanding, okay. So if we keep on giving upon our money, and if we don't have any forex for as a reserve or something, the current account, okay. Then when it comes to the next part, that is Chabahar port, which we have already paid and we have given our share, okay, that is a side. Second side is, see, if I am why I have to involved in any establishment or any infrastructure that develops another country. Why? There should be a taken in return, I should have something, right? Unless and until I have something, I will not be invested in anything. The return should be there. So the idea about Chabahar port is, India will be having the access to the Central Asian countries. Okay, apart from that, we will be having the influence, we will be having the market from Afghanistan also. Major thing, we will be bypassing Pakistan, so that we don't want Pakistan's um, uh, support or anything else, any other, we don't want to depend upon Pakistan to access other areas, okay. So in that case, okay, it weakens the strategic access, right? So if there is no stability in the Iran, that will be eventually affecting our access to those markets. That is what the problem is. Avya, it is not about weakening Iran economically alone. Okay, eventually China and Russia will be coming into the scene. Okay, they will be supporting Iran, and it will be again a block, two different blocks, because China and Russia in a good terms, right? So those two friends will be supporting Iran, and US from other side, it will be retaliating. So this kind of thing is, sanctions not about only the economical things, okay, it is to how far a country will be uh, supporting another country. Russia is also having a issue with Ukraine, right? So after some time they will be moving out, because they have to demonstrate right now their uh, the stability that Russia have, they have to demonstrate it right now, and they have to showcase their defense mechanism, so that the people will be coming and buying their defense systems, okay, so that they will be extracting the money from other countries. So it is, see, it is the sanctions will be having some logic here. It is not only about weakening certain country with economically, it shows the geopolitical power. So if I am great, if I am supporting Iran, and if I get like my block is one at that time, so that time it will be like the geopolitics, the power that you have, you will be considered as the greatest power, and the development things, the products that you export, everything will be going like crazy in the world, okay. So it is more and more, it will not stop at one time, it will be keep on expanding, either this block will be benefited or else the other block will be benefited, okay. So there is no where the place the sanctions will go in logic, it will not go there, there will be a, there is one side that has been always getting benefited, like even we cannot guarantee how Iran will be getting benefited when China and Russia is helping it, but China and Russia will be getting a financial terms and the geopolitical power. In that case also they will be having a stronghold if they combat US, okay. So that is the thing. Then when it comes to the Afghanistan, okay, we will quickly move, we will not waste time for that, okay. So Afghanistan, okay, we know Taliban's are in the power in the Afghanistan. Okay, so Iran has a very good influence on Taliban, so it will be easy for India to have a good relations with Afghanistan when we have a Iran's support. Okay, so for the Iran is a balancing power for India and Afghanistan. Okay, in this case we would be able to combat Pakistan's influence and upon Pakistan's influence when it comes to Afghanistan. So through Iran we will be getting two different things when it comes to Afghanistan. One is terrestrial access to Afghanistan, and another thing is like the Iran's influence will help India to have a good relations with Afghanistan. Okay, moving on. So the next thing is about how Central Asia and Pakistan will be hit. Okay. So it competes with the Turkey and Pakistan for influence. Okay. Iran actually competes with Turkey, and also Turkey, Central Asia and Pakistan. We all know. Okay, we are developing the port, Chabahar port in Iran just to combat Pakistan. In that case, we would be able to have a check on Pakistan. Then the geopolitical balancing power, which we talked about, the Gulf nations and also other areas that is pro-Iran, or they have a good relation with Iran, right? So they will be having a geopolitical balancing power. Then the next comes the strategic autonomy. Okay. So please do work out on the strategic autonomy, because we are keep on learning about the strategic autonomy, right? We may expect a question. The key term strategic autonomy will be there in the mains question paper for sure. So please. Okay. So the balance. Okay, and apart from that, the US strategic partnership. The US strategic partnership is about how the US, okay, is imposing taxes on India, okay, just because we are reducing the imports. How in return they have taken up those transactional diplomacy, okay, and the relations with partnership relations with Iran, and the energy security which has been needed, then the regional stability. Just a second, it will be opening. Okay, so till then we will see the okay. So the regional stability is very much needed, because not about the two countries which are fighting along with each other. Okay, it is some more than that, where the other countries also will be getting affected. Okay, Afghanistan, we know how sensitive the terrain is. Okay, it is very much prone to earthquakes and everything, right? But when it comes to those area, if there is any war kind of situation, or if there is any huge bombardment, it will affect Afghanistan. Okay, the internal structure, the infrastructure of Afghanistan, and the terrain of there will be a terrain collapse also for Afghanistan. So the regional stability is not only the political demand, it is also about the geographical demand as well. Okay, so this we have to. So if till it is getting solved, if there is any question you guys have, we will discuss. So Avya, did you get it, like what I was saying you? So till then, if there is any other queries, or if there is any other doubt, we can talk about it. Okay. Since okay, how you guys are preparing? Like, how many of you are giving 2026 this year? Like 26 attempt? How is your preparation going on? Have been resolved. So we will get back to this topic later. Before that, we will be continuing, finishing up. Okay. So when we see the issues, 4 issues, okay, here it is the major issues about unpredictability. Okay, there is no stability. What can be happened, what cannot be happened, that we don't know. So the unpredictability here affects with the things, that is like whether I have to move further with the investments in Iran or not. Okay, should I have to wait for support? Should I have to wait for any other import export transactions with the countries, okay, and there will be is there any possibilities that a war could affect my enterprise or entity or any other things, okay. So there is an unpredictability there. Then here military to diplomacy have come, okay. Multipolar world have been, again it is moving towards, see, one good thing about multipolar world is about we will be having n number of opportunities, we will be having different opportunities. Somebody is saying no, by respecting that no, we will be going to some other places, okay. So that is what the great thing about multipolar. But the interlinked multipolar, where we are like having a something or the other, the connections that we have, that is eventually happening that somewhere or the other the multipolar world has been affected because of one or two countries been suffered because of these kind of issues, okay. So one positive about multipolar world is we have opportunities, and one disadvantage is about we are having the indirect attacks, indirect sanctions or indirect effects that we have, okay. And fragmented global order, again, okay, the regional conflicts that will be affecting the internal conduction, okay, internal process will not be smoothened down. And weak global institutions, earlier the board of peace was of what, okay Ekta, you are giving 2020, all the very best, okay. So the weak global institutions like UNSC, the board of peace have stated that UNSC have lost its uh, function and also its strength. So when there is any global institution losing its power, eventually the countries will be taking the power, and there won't be any balanced peace will be settled. It will be a biased, or it will be a like war kind of a situation where one country will be growing more and other will be settling down for the defeat. Power politics and also the transactional diplomacy. So this is very important. Okay. These two are highly important. Transactional diplomacy, what we read about it, transactional diplomacy, it's completely about like two countries, somebody is forcing me to do something just because we are depend upon US at certain things, okay. The sanctions that they put on us, the trade market of US is a huge for India. We cannot give up on that, right? We are getting lot of US forex from the trade only, the exports only that we did. So the the transactional diplomacy is like, see, your the taxes, the import taxes or the import taxes of Indian goods will be reduced when you are not supporting the Iran, when you are not supporting the country that I am pointing out. When you are in my side, I will be giving you the tariff relaxations, which earlier it was 50% that have been reduced to 18% because of this only. So there is a external push for India to pursue this transactional diplomacy, okay. So it is very important to be economically and geopolitically strong to have the strategic autonomy, to have the sovereignty. Nobody can come and direct us what we have to do. Why China has not been directed by US? Because US has the US is a huge market for China, and China's well versed when it comes to the economy, right? They have a very strong economy. So that's how it is important for any country to have the economic and also the geopolitical power, the stability. That's why China is thriving. Why it is like expanding like Taiwan, and it is being continuously active in Indian Ocean region? Because of this, it needs power. This nowadays it's like peace will be balanced with power. If you have power, you will be having the peace. So it came in that way, but it is not supposed to be that way, but it came to that way. So to defend ourselves, we should having a good power. So till now, is it clear? So that is what complete article is about. Okay, we just go through it, just learn about it, okay. It's a good subtle language only, nothing like attacked language or something. Go through it for it. Okay. Moving on, a very short one. So this picture immediate next to the editorial part. Okay, the next page is about this. Okay, so the problem here is, okay, the Nilgiri tar is losing its habitat. So they have become majorly endangered right now. Endangered is like they will be extinct after some time. They will not be there in the ecosystem. They will be completely disappeared. That is endangered. Like they are in danger. Okay. So that is the thing. We will be quickly seeing the context, the important insights of this. Okay, Nilgiri tar is also called as Nilgiri ibex. Okay, endangered by IUCN. Okay, they have a very vulnerable state right now, and it is a state animal of Tamil Nadu. We can see them in the areas like we can see their pockets in the areas like southern western Ghats when it comes to Kerala. Okay, and major thing is Schedule 1. So they have listed in the Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act, sorry, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, where the hunting, the poaching is have been uh, given with the higher penalties. Okay, it is illegal. We cannot hunt or poach those species when it comes, if there is any danger because of them, the human, there is any threat to life, then it is okay. Other than that, if there is anything, that will be under the highest penalties. Okay, they cannot be traded and also they cannot be hunted. Okay, then so they also called as saddlebacks because the adult males will be having their there will be saddle like ash color, grey color of patterns at their back, so they are called as saddlebacks also. Okay, they generally live in open montane grassland, so their habitat will be mostly of grassland. We are able to see there is a lot due to climate change and due to invasive species, we are losing the grasslands and many other areas, right? So can you guys quote the recently that which we have read about the grassland, the issue about the grassland? I need the answer right now. Okay, let's see how far you would be able to those topics that we discuss here. Okay, so their habitat will be rainforest ecoregion, grassland of rainforest. Endemic to Nilgiris, endemic is nothing but they especially found in there only. Okay, to Nilgiris hills and southern portion of western Ghats, exactly in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. We know state animal of Tamil Nadu. Okay, then what is a major threat to their livelihood? Their count have been gone so down, so we will be seeing what are those threats. First is habitat loss. The grassland has been deteriorated. Okay, because of two different regions, because of two different reasons, the habitat loss is happening. One is domestic livestock. Okay, where the complete grazing is been taken about the cattle and any other like goat, sheep, all these cattle are domestic livestock is keep on grazing everywhere and they are losing their habitat. And the second thing is about the invasive species, where the grasslands are turned into a dense forest or shrubs or thorny shrubs area. Okay, so which is actually not suitable for them to live. Second thing is poaching, and third one is poaching is nothing for they are hunted for the food. Okay, then small and isolated populations, they have very small isolated populations, they are very like they need such a terrain. Okay, right now they don't have huge population and it is keep on deteriorated because of this habitat loss. And another thing is climate change, which is affecting the grasslands. Again it leads to the habitat loss and they are losing their things. Answer. Moving on. The next one, the final one for the day. SE slams, unchecked freebies, questionings, appeasement. Okay. So here the problem is about whenever the election comes, there is a lot of states who actually, they provide lot of freebies like cable fan or if I say that, that will be a controversial thing. Certain states they used to give money, okay, and also table fan, wet grinders, televisions, okay, and apart from that laptops, there is a lot many things that has been given in the freebies when it comes to the time of election, okay. So the freebies are considered as a welfare. The people are being convinced, okay. So somewhere or the other people are being convinced that these are for your welfare, okay, but actually they are not. They will be at the lowest condition, they will be at the lowest quality. For some time it will be working, and after that most often it is a defect. So, okay, we are not going into that, but the thing is like state claims that it is a welfare and nobody can question it when it comes to a welfare that has been provided by the state. Here the problem is about the genuinity of the welfare. See, what could be the welfare? What is the welfare actually? So, if I want to grow somewhere, okay, if I want to earn something new, you cannot give me like 5 rupees, 10 rupees every day, right? Just like I don't know how you guys have heard it or not. In Mrs. Sudhamurthy's story, she have told that once she tried to help a kid, okay, that kid was working in as a child labor, he was doing it, and she said ki actually he was selling the socks. So she told that, see, you have to go and study if I give you certain amount like 50 or something. Instead of working for this, you have to go and study. So he accepted and he went, and after some time he actually asked for huge money, okay. Now if I want to go to study or if I want to go to school, you have to give me 250 rupees per socks. So she was asking like, okay, I'll give you, but why? So at that time he was telling that when we were starting this transaction, at that time the socks rate was 100 rupees or 200 rupees, and now the socks rate is 250 rupees. So it is like something welfare, you whenever you're giving something, it should grow. The real outcome should be the growth, not it should be demanding something which actually which will not helping each other, okay. Neither he is going for studies, okay, though he is getting money, but the actual growth when it will come, by selling the socks he will be hardly able to save like thousands or things, but when he studies and go to a different government office or something, he would be able to earn it in thousands, right? So he can save it in lakhs. That is the problem here. So the welfare is about the real growth, okay, in the education, in the healthcare, in the infrastructure. So that should be the major focus of welfare rather than these freebies, okay. So this is the major concern that is this article is talking about. Supreme Court is saying that, see, the freebie should be a welfare, rather than a freebies, it should be a welfare where it actually reaches the people who are needed. The problem here is everybody, like there is no targeted audience for these welfare freebies. Instead, it will be given to everybody to cover the vote. Okay, so that is what the major issues we will be seeing it in depth. Okay, so it is not your obligation to spend money to develop infrastructure. Okay, roads, hospitals, schools, medical colleges. Instead, you keep giving scooties, you distribute clothes, food at the time of elections. Is happening in this country, which is what we are talking about. Okay, so with no further delay, within 5-10 minutes we will complete it. Okay, the whole perspective we will be. First thing is about the freebies distribution without properly identifying the beneficiaries. Okay, so there is nowhere actual people. See, if I am earning 15-20,000 per month, okay, and if my neighbor is earning, he or she is working in any other small job, okay, they are earning only hardly 5,000-6,000 per month. So these freebies of fan, television, all these should be gone for them, but it is given to me also. So there is no proper identification of the beneficiaries. First problem here, okay, who needs them, actually they are not getting it. The second thing is like appeasement policy. See, appeasement policy is nothing but it is a strategic thing, okay. It is a where the appeasement policy is nothing but it is something you will be giving as a strategical thing. So to gain something, you are giving something, okay. It is kind of influencing people, you are convincing people by giving something and you are taking the rewards in return. So that is the appeasement policy, kind of influencing, okay. You are giving this and you are influencing them, okay. Then the third one is like the Tamil Nadu Power Distribution Corporation Limited. Here the problem have created. So when it comes to the lot of debt, when in the electricity subsidy case, at that time only it came to the notice that these the freebies are being a huge problem for Tamil Nadu. Okay. So in detail, what is the court's concern? Okay. The Supreme Court is concerned about certain things. One is fiscal deficit. So keep on working on these freebies, the funds that have been used for welfare schemes and other things. But here it is keep on working, it is keep on depreciating in when it comes to fiscal things. Okay, the state's treasury is losing its money for spending in these freebies. Okay, then the electricity subsidy burden have gone up because when there is no real growth, when there is no affordability, okay, the farmers are being given free electricity and also the free and low cost for electricity. So all these subsidies are burdening the state to get very less yield when it comes to electricity thing. Okay. Freebies before affluent. So the affluent here is those who need, they are not getting it, okay, but those who are like already well versed, those it is just a kind of extra thing for them, it is not necessary for them to do, okay. So they are getting the freebies at first, okay. Those who are the targeted, those who actually need it, they are not getting it. Those who already well versed, they can buy it by their own, they are getting it, okay. That is a major issue. And beneficiaries identification, which we talked about, okay. So in detail we will see the major things, okay. So Supreme Court here says that see there should be targeted welfare, it should not be about openly, you cannot give it to everybody, okay. There should be some targeted welfare should be given, and the poor students has to given with laptop or any other things instead of giving to anybody. See, if I am studying, let's take, I got a good marks in my 10th and I am right now moving to a government school for certain courses, like if I want to pursue history or any other humanity subjects, I am moving to government school. My parents are well versed, okay. I don't need any government subsidies or laptops for me, but governments are giving laptops for the students, for every student who are studying in 12th standard, okay. But when I am able to afford those laptops, okay, by my own, then why should I get it? Instead, that should be going to those poor students who cannot afford those laptops. So the targeted welfare should be there, and the affluent should be eliminated. So those who can afford those things, they not be given to them. So the economical condition of every person have to be taken into the consideration. Development must be priority. So instead of you focusing on giving the freebies, should be focusing on the development, which will be like infrastructure, roads development, and also many other healthcare institutions like hospitals, schools. So all these things are have to be brought in. Okay, one good thing about Tamil Nadu is during Mr. Kamaraj period, okay, at that time there was a huge number of schools have been constructed. But now if we see the quality of the after time, okay, now if we see the quality of the schools, the compound, the infrastructure and everything, it is very poor, okay. So when it we have to focus on those things, okay. The actual priority should be of the development, not on these extra things that is being given. The fiscal responsibility, this is a huge thing. States are going very crazy about this, and the revenue deficit state is also giving all those freebies out of their treasury. They are spending the money to gain votes, okay. So they are not taking care about the fiscal stability, instead they are just focusing upon the vote that they are gaining. Second thing is about the public money. So thing is like the public money, the taxes that we are paying, eventually it should go for the development purpose, but instead it is coming back to us even it is coming in a lesser way, okay, which is not actually helpful for the people. So the public money, the accountability to give back the people be in the development state, but it is not in that case, and there is a big question mark for the accountability and the quality and where the public money has been spent. Electricity, there will be a huge tariff shock, okay, by keep on giving the tariffs and everything, giving the subsidies, that will be affecting the high prices. So eventually the state will be going with, there will be no future for the state with the fiscal stability. Then welfare versus freebies. Welfare, the freebies will not give the development, okay, but good evening. Okay. So when it comes to the welfare, targeted beneficiaries should be there, okay, and apart from that, what else we have to look into it. So what kind of a welfare? The long term welfare should be there, okay, it should not be a grasslands. Okay, I'll come to this comment later. So welfare should be of targeted beneficiaries and should be long term development, okay, and the freebies will not actually helping us, okay. These are the things that is we have to keep that in mind. When it comes to 15th finance commission, that have stated that states are keep on spending money on these freebies so that they are having the fiscal risk, okay. And the second thing is like state is getting more debt from the RBI and they are not able to pay back, okay, on time. The debt burden is keep on increasing to the state when it comes to the expenditure that has been provided on these freebies, okay. So here article 38, 39 and 266. Article 38 is about the welfare, okay. Quickly right now tell me what is the article 39 and 266. Okay, Avya, grasslands are being classified as wastelands or diverted for plantations and development, leading to and harm. Very good. So this was a recent news that we read about the grassland, right? So can I have answers for article 39 and 266? About state fund, okay. So is it clear till now? Shall I do the homework for 39? Okay. Okay, that's it for the day. If there is any doubt or if you have any queries, please let us know in the comment section. We will be discussing it. We will catch up tomorrow. Okay, it's okay, Abhi, no problem. You can see the recorded one later. You can fast forward the pace and you can see an issue. But please do read the newspaper. Just don't stop by listening to the DNA. You have to read it. And try to have a small hint based notes for those topics that we are discussing. Okay, okay, then let's catch up tomorrow. Have a good day.